Man, I can't wait for these new records to get here. I want to do our next mission.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I gotta head to the med bay.
I was already there. Got myself a new hand. How come you didn't go when we got back?
I don't want to talk about it.
Aw, come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
Alright. Movie Prime took my face.
That's why my face hurts.
Are you okay, Topspin? Hello there, welcome to Geek Central Station, where the awesome just keeps on chugging. My name is John, and welcome to a brand new episode of Primetime Thursday, where I will be presenting you with more recent releases in the Transformers universe. And today I will be reviewing two third-party figures. And for those of you who don't know, third-party is a general term that encompasses many different companies that are not Hasbro that create figures that represent characters from many parts of the Transformers universe. This duo is made by Mech, and they are part of the subline Demolition Crew. And this one is Apex, and this one is Geminus. They represent Top Spin and Twin Twist, respectfully. Their designs are mostly inspired by the IDW comic book series The Last Stand of the Wreckers, which I have up here on the desk for the review. The original toys of these guys had a very simplistic transformation. At a flick of a switch, they jumped up and folded themselves from alt mode into bot mode. They were called jump starters. And you can still find these nowadays in the form of Spider-Man, some of those new movie toys, which I actually find pretty hilarious. But thankfully, these two brothers are not jump starters. Mech Ideas has brought dignity back into these figures by giving them a modern update with a more complex transformation. Well, more than they had before. Alright, let's take a look at the alt mode of these two. They're based off of the same mold but with slight differences, which help give each of these guys their own identity. First, let's look at Apex. I guess it's supposed to be a jet, but he seems too bulky to be one, so I prefer to call it a hover tank, especially when you place the hammer on top like so. I'll get more into the accessories later. The blue plastic for Apex reminds me of either the Jolly Rancher Chewy candies or Airheads. Yummy. It's just that certain texture that looks candy enough for me to just want to eat it up. Like it's some edible transformer. Anyway, the sculpted details on these guys are simple yet well done, as well as the precisely placed paint apps. Both of these helps to add texture and detail to the big blobs of blue or white to help it not look just like a big blue or white blob. And then you also have these air intakes, which are here on the front. They're rotatable. Their standard position, let me get that placed, looks like that. But I prefer to rotate them like I had them before. Yeah, like that. And there are these tiny wings in the back of the alt mode that look very nice, but still make me wonder how it actually fly in the future. You got coming at you. Next we have Geminus. Now this is supposed to be a drill tank, which it pulls off pretty well. When I first looked at this guy, I almost thought the blue was a different shade than Apex here, but it's just a trick of the eye. It's actually the exact same. Thought it was interesting. The drills are also rotatable, so you can position those however you want. I just had them low because it makes sense for them to be lower, drilling into the ground. But you can have that however you want. The paint apps are also nice on Geminus, but you'll notice there are some differences, such as the cockpit windows. They're not painted, which makes sense. Well, think about it. You want to make a glass-covered cockpit in the front of your drill tank. Might as well run that poor fellow through a meat grinder from Command & Conquer Riddler 2. Ouch. And also, there's a couple of vents there on the back that are not painted, but they're painted on Apex. They're, I guess, supposed to be vents. And there's a couple other mold detail differences between them. Like, let me zoom out for you. You'll notice on the front here, these front treads, they're not treads on Apex. They look more like vents. See right? Well, there we go. Yeah, they look more like vents. And then the back portions here, these have treads and these are wings. So little things like that, which are pretty cool. And there's a little bit of the shoulder popping out that's different on this one, but that's not really supposed to be apparent in vehicle mode. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at those accessories I was telling you about. Each one comes with a hammer and 2 laser pistols, which are different for each character. If you look at Geminus's here, they have little wing tips and everything. But for Apex, oh, try to get it to, there we go. Looks all different and everything, which is pretty cool. And the hammer can become a turret in alt mode by plugging its tiny pegs into the tiny holes on top of the alt mode. Let me show you that. Zoom in here for you. See? There's those 2 tiny holes right there. There's 2 tiny pegs on there. You just go ahead and see it. There we go. Just plug that in there. Unfortunately, it doesn't rotate, but it still looks really cool. Or you can just place the guns like I have here on Geminus in the 2 holes that are on top. You just plug them right in. And how you set them up is really up to your discretion. But there's a few other ways to store them in alt mode. You could place the hammer like this. You basically take off the handles and you shove it right into there. Or you can put the laser pistols in there. Unfortunately, Geminus's doesn't do that because of the little extra bits there on the back of the guns. But these are able to because they're flat and they can go right up against each other. You just go back here, you put them side by side, and it's just kind of held in there by friction. You can either have, as soon as I get my hand out of the way, can either have them angled up or back flush and they're just sticking straight out. That's really up to your preference. That's just something I figured out. That's not in the official instructions or anything. But I found it nice that I was able to actually do it. And let's go ahead and do some comparisons, shall we? Let's go ahead and bring in another third-party figure. You have Steel Core. Let's just go ahead and put one off to the side because they're both the same size. Get a nice little comparison of how big they are. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to something a little smaller. You got the new Ultra Magnus from the Generations line. And pretty comparable in size. So these guys are definitely deluxe sized. And you also have a little guzzle here. That's pretty cool. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move on to the transformation. Now to transform these guys, you can just go ahead and take off all of the accessories. Just do that. Take off that. Don't forget to go back here and take this out. Now, the easiest way, unpeg the handles. Right there. And then pull out, grab with your fingers on the little pegs, and just pull. Wait. No! Oh my gosh. No. You pull up because there are other pegs in the arms underneath. Same size holes and everything. Let me show you how to assemble the hammer. You just take it, plug it into the bottom right there. Do that. Plug it right there. And have the handle to your discretion because it can turn stuff because it's obviously a peg. Okay, just go ahead and set that off to the side. So all the accessories off there. I can't believe I forgot halfway through recording to turn on the light. So from now on, we can have the light on because it's late. It's prime time. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is start with the treads and just kind of pull them out because they're connected. Sort of, my little peg here fits into this hole here and then slots in right there. Just go ahead and pull that back. Do the same thing for the other side. Just kind of transform these guys at the same time, so some parts are different. There we go. There we go. Okay. And you're going to want to just split the legs. Now there's a little clip inside there that connects to this white part, and then there's another like L peg in here. Just want to make sure you get all that undone. You pull it out. That actually kind of looks like a good mode. You want to do the same thing for this guy. Just do that. Do that right there. And then get the arms out. Pull them out like that because they're held in by these pegs right here. Do the same thing for Geminus here. There. It might help if you twist it at the shoulder joint and then pull it out. So it twists right there. Okay. And you're just going to want to take this whole torso piece and bring it to the back. Now this part's a little tricky. You want to make sure that the back portions that I told you to bring back aren't in the way. And you just see there's like a double joint in there. You're just going to want to... Actually, let me go in for this. Let me zoom in. Just going to want to bring that in there. And see right there, these two pegs, they actually peg in. And then, get the arm out of the way. There's a peg right there. It's on either side. As well as a hole, you can see it right there. That all has to peg in to make it secure. So you're going to want to make sure this back portion is all flush. Just kind of bring it back. And then push down. You'll hear that click. And those went in on by themselves. That's good. Alrighty. So you can probably just stand him up right now. Not at his crotch, John. Okay. Right there. And let's go ahead and do that with this guy. Just do the same thing. Make sure these aren't in the way. Just bring it back. Make sure it's back far enough. Push down. And then, okay, these decided to do it itself too. Awesome. Going very well. And you just go ahead and stand them up. And you go ahead and unpeg the arms. They're held in by a peg right there in the shoulder. You just want to straighten them out. Like so. Do the same thing for apex. Alrighty. What you're going to want to do here is open up the top of the cockpit right there and rotate, blocking everything, rotate the entire thing down and you'll see their heads, and you just push them forward, close this back up. There's a little hole right behind there that it pegs into. You might just have to move that whole plate the head's sitting on back so it can line up, and you twist these around like so. And there you go, the back portion's done. He's mostly done. And right here, you do the same thing for apex. Open that up, rotate the whole thing forward. You close that up, raise the head. And for this guy, what you're going to want to do is rotate these all the way. And then these wings, fold them back, fold them forward. Keep those straight. So he's got that wing silhouette. And you can angle him however you want. And then I like to keep it to where you can still see the air intakes in the front. And for Geminus, I keep them back to their default position. It looks the best. And then you pull off the hands, which are located where hands usually are located. It might take a little bit of force. There we go. Because the joint tolerances and all the peg tolerances are really tight. But they do loosen up the more you play with it, the more you mess with it. so there's no worries there. Plastic is actually quite durable in this guy. I have no worries about breaking it at all, which is nice. Okay. So yeah, just open this up. Ah, okay, this guy's a little bit tougher. Not sure why. Close it, it'll snap, and rotate the hand. Do the same thing for this one. Should all become hand experts now. I did it 4 times in front of you. Aren't I awesome? Alrighty. And then one thing you'll notice about these guys is that they have a double hinge for their elbow. And it looks nice from the front, but it looks odd if you straighten out the arms like that. It looks a bit odd. So, like how I had it before instinctually, you just rotate it a bit till it's like that L shape-ish, and it looks cool. But it allows them to get some really neat poses in. And now for posability of these guys. So let me just go ahead and use Geminus to show off the posability. You have 360 degree head, although it'd be nice if my thumb wasn't covering it all up. You have a 360 degree head. There we go. Kind of gets caught on the sides here. It can go up and down. He's got full 360 degree rotation on the shoulder. 90 degree out movement. 45 degree in movement, which is very nice. Don't get that on many figures. Bicep swivel. Double elbow, like I said. Rotatable fist. Very nice. And he's got a waist joint. I mean, where did waist joints go? I don't see very many of them. Unfortunately, the way he transforms this back part here kind of limits it at times. And at other times, no. There we go. And then you have the hip movement right here. Forward and out. Forward and out. Thigh swivel. Bends at the knee 90, and also for a transformation joint, it can do that. So you can get some pretty kung fu-ish poses. And then you have ankle articulation. All that good stuff. He's reaching up for the light. Pretty awesome looking duo. They have some difference in paint schemes as well as overall switcheroo on the body. You'll notice that on Geminus here, the main body is blue, whereas on Apex, the main body is white. It's all flip-flopped. But then you have the paint differences of the shoulders here. This has yellow, this has red. On the chest, right there, oh, there we go. On that side of the chest, you have silver details here, and then yellow and red details there. And their knees are also colored differently as well. It's pretty cool. And now let's talk about the features of these guys. They can hold their weapons very well with all that posability in the arms. You can get some really cool poses with the hammer. And you could even have them with a shorter handle and call one of them Mechathor. Just saying. And my nephew and I found a great way to store the weapons in robot mode. What you're going to want to do is take these pieces and rotate them back out like that. And then for top spin, you just kind of angle his out. Does the same effect. Although it kind of affects the shoulders. See how they're kind of jutting out a bit. And you just take each of their respective weapons and you put them on the back like so. Probably don't want to peg it in all the way. Just have it out a little bit. And just take their hammer, put it like that, put it like that. And now they have all their stuff on them. You don't have to worry about putting it somewhere else or whatnot. It's all together, which is very awesome. And one little extra that Mech Ideas added was an extra damaged head for Geminus, so you can reenact a scene in the comic The Last Stand of the Wreckers where he gets tortured by a sadist Decepticon. It's a great accessory that they really didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did. Even though it doesn't quite match the art from the comic, it's still a very nice touch. I mean, you got the wires coming out of his mouth, or what was his mouth, stuff out of the eyes, the cracked head crest. Really quite nice. I wasn't sure if my copy was going to get one. I'm not even sure if the third run, or the second run, that's on Captured Prey, if they have them. But, yeah, it probably does. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, and let's go ahead and do some comparisons here. We have Guzzle, same one we looked at earlier in robot mode. He's a legend, so it makes sense that he's shorter than them. Moving on, we have here Ultra Magnus, their boss. Guys should be saluting. That's better. Okay. He's about as tall as them. That's pretty good. Deluxe size figure. Nice. And then you have here Steel Core. He's definitely taller than them. Definitely have to say that. Very nice. They look good with him. Even though they're not the same company. I consider Steel Core to be a record, but I'm battling on. We're here for the brothers. Transform these guys back. You just go on to transform the hands first. It's the easiest. Alrighty. So when you do that, just go ahead and make sure... Whoa. Come on, camera. There we go. Just go ahead and make sure the opening of the hand is facing in towards the panel right there. Just gonna twist that around like so, and then just close it. Just close it up. I find it has the least resistance, because if you do it the other way, or any other way, like if you have it out here, you turn it in, the index fingers are pressing up against the bottom. See how much it took to close that right there. But if you do it my way, there's not a lot of resistance. And you're just gonna go ahead and fold those back up so that the little peg in the arm here, just make sure that's folded out all the way, or otherwise it's gonna catch. Just fold it. Go ahead and fold it. Make sure everything lines up. Right there. There we go. Let me go ahead and zoom out. Whoop. Not zoom in, zoom out. Okay. So then you're going to want to pull canopy open, pull the head back, rotate it around, and then close it up right there. And now, if you watch closely, push back on this whole thing and then pull up, and then you'll be able to rotate it all around. And now you're good to go. You just separate the legs, bring that all the way forward, bring in the arms, rotate them up a bit, and then back down, and back down, and then clip them together like that. You don't want to bring these up yet because everything kind of locks in, kind of weird. Fold the feet up. You could do that at any time. You just go ahead and make sure that these hooks right here, let me make sure you can see it, those hooks right here go underneath this panel. You want to do that, and then that way you can peg. Oh, didn't have things lined up. So that way you can peg. Oh, come on! Oh. That little hook likes to get undone. So make sure it's there, and then push back and in, and you get it. Do the same thing for the other side. Back and in. There you go. And then go ahead and rotate these up so that peg L thing goes into that hole, and this slots up into that slot. So just kind of in like that, and it'll just go in like that. And there you go. You have Geminus, and we can do top spin here as well. Peg. And then this, make sure it's rotated around, and you plug it in right there. And then you adjust the wing however you like. And there you go. You have Apex transformed. Overall, the figures feel sturdy all around. The plastic quality is exceptional. Mech Ideas has done a very basic yet very well executed upgrade from two very overly simple figures from G1. These are great figures for the price. It's one of the cheapest standalone third-party figures to date. It goes for about $68 for both. That's $34 per figure before shipping. The only ones that are close to that are the iGear Small, the Mini Warriors, the Rager, and all of those different things. I think there's another company that makes them. I can't quite remember. But these guys are bigger, they're full deluxes, and they have great posability, which makes it a great set to get if you're wanting to complete your Wreckers collection. Alright, that will be it for Top Spin and Twin Twist. Thank you for watching. Next week we're going to have another couple of videos, Monday and Thursday. Be sure to check out Home Atomics. Don't forget to subscribe and share the videos. Have a wonderful day.
Home Atomics!